Manthana, Jodhpur, right up to Guwahati, the entire northeast. We have now made it capable of taking this to 30 acres, to about 30 acres. All these places have been upgraded to be able to take on this. It will entail making, shelters for aircraft on that size, because the 230 as compared to the aircraft that we have is 1.5 times that size. So all those shelters that we had in the past don't work now. So we have to upgrade the entire infrastructure there, which we have done. It is a continuous process. We will continue to work on this particular aspect and become much more in the future, become much more potent as far as our prospects are, whether it is on the radar, whether it is establishment of bases. They are also working again. So is the army. Now, the army tends to work on linkages as far as roads are concerned. Roads, because the movement of roads from one particular sector to another sector gets hampered if we don't have a proper road mechanism there. Now, this road mechanism is not brought back for various different environmental reasons. The environmental clearances are not forthcoming at all, and the law is going to be expected over it. Now, the new environment minister has promised that he will give clearances to all defense projects which are there in the northeast, given environmental clearances off the cuff. We don't have to go back to the government again and again. So, with this boost as far as the road infrastructure in northeast is concerned, so if you see the Chinese infrastructure across Tibet, it's phenomenal. If you go on to the website and check what's happening in Tibet as far as the road, rail network, airfields are concerned, it is mind-boggling. And it is truly frightening if you ask me, the way they have gone about the road. We need to wake up now. It is late, but not too late. So if we are conscious of the fact that there has to be built up, the environmental risks are taken, all these things are done, and the fast track, it can be done. We can contain the Chinese, there is no problem. Secondly, you ask the question about SAR. What, like I said, we need to do is that those countries, especially say Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Myanmar, Bhutan, Afghanistan, we are working on. So if we can build communications with these countries, contain the Chinese influence in these countries, then we could have contained the Chinese influence to a large extent, and we find that we have to deal with only Pakistan and to a certain extent China. So it is my interest to make sure that we work in SAR, work on these countries and build better relationships. This is a must.
This side.
Sorry, your talk was enumerated one, and informative. Thank you. Now, my question is about organized infiltration of Bangladesh into India. There is a wide border, long border of 4,700 kilometers. There are people are entering India, and there are a major problem in Assam and Bihar, Bangladesh, West Bengal, and even in some parts of Karnataka also, and everywhere they are spread. How to check this infiltration? Is present government capable of checking this infiltration of Bangladesh to India? And as you know, Myanmar has punished this Rohingya Muslims. And today, thousands of Muslims are perishing in border area. They are not allowed in Bangladesh. They are thrown out of Myanmar. So they have taught them a bitter lesson. And so also Sri Lanka also. You might have seen in recent news report that Buddhists have attacked Muslims because of their jihadi movement. And same thing in China also. They are creating this problem. So this is a major concern for our country. Any solution for this?
No, it is indeed a thing which is worrying us all. Because this is all unchecked in the last, I would say, so many years, 30, 40 years, it is going on unabated. And there are political considerations, there is vote bank politics, there are so many other things which go into this. That even if enough of a statement to say that people send the Bangladesh back, the next day you find that the West Bengal chief minister is not allowed to say that how can them that they are our people whom we are better predators. So we ourselves are not very sure what we want to do to tackle this problem. We should take it as a national issue. To say that entry of illegal migrants from across the border is not very permanent. You have to send a strong message. And even if you start in a limited way, which I hope the government does, because overnight you can't send all these people back. It is not possible because they are mingled so well with the population all over the country. They are, I think, all of them will be holding this voter ID card. They will all be holding the Aadhaar card. You and me may not have it, but these people definitely will have. So now, how do you identify that they are illegal migrants? They are from across the border, etc. So one can only hope that subsequent migration do not happen. That is the only thing we can do at the moment, I think. Pushing back these people who have come over the years is going to be a Herculean task because we require the active cooperation of the population, we require the active cooperation of chief ministers who may not be very friendly with you, etc. So I am not very sure how this problem can be rid of, but at least future immigration, if it can be tackled or stopped, I think it will be a big step forward.
Yeah, can you present?
Hello sir, good evening. My name is Kiran. And a few days ago, when the Modi ji met Army Chief, the Army Chief clearly said that India is not ready to war, as it does not have enough ammo and weapon, and still the IF has 20-year-old chopper. And if we need to rebuild and reconstruct all this equipment, it will require around 19,000 crore rupees. And my question is, why this is happening? Was the previous government completely negated the armed forces or the defense? And the second question is, okay, let you answer.
You see, this is a continuous process. What happens is every year we have an armed forces conference wherein all the three services put up a presentation to the Prime Minister on the current state of the armed forces, what happened, where are the shortcomings, and routinely the service needs to be meeting the Defence Minister and the Prime Minister to apprise them of the state of affairs, whether it is an oral meeting, whether it is a written brief, it is given to the past civilian government that is there to say that this is very snack, and if we don't do this and this is the repercussions of that, and leave it thereafter to the civilian government to be able to come up with the solution. Okay, so it is not that people are not aware as to what the shortages are. The problem is basically that there is such a lot of corruption as far as acquisitions and the armed forces are concerned, because there is a huge amount of kickback. If you go in for a purchase from a foreign vendor, now he hike up the price because he knows that you are in a situation where you can't make the equipment yourself. You are dependent on the outside agency to give you the loan. So what he does is he builds into that particular contract kickbacks which are to be given to various different people. Okay, so the price of the equipment goes up. Now the previous defense minister, he was, I think, Stephen Manthana must have been wrong because he thought that there should be no corruption as far as the acquisition of the armed forces are concerned. Now this is a very utopian concept. You cannot eliminate it if you very try to. Because there will be all-in-one ways where these channels will, get over whatever systems you have in the country to give the kickbacks to people who, it is all, they're all over the world. There is no country in the world today who is free from this particular. All you can do is use it to a certain extent. Now because of the previous defense ministers, what should I say, think that there is no corruption, everything was slowed down. The processes became so stringent that in getting whatever you require and try and minimize corruption as far as possible. You cannot get rid of it. So the latest statement by the defense minister when he met the naval chief, commander's conference a couple of days back, in that he said that he is aware of what the requirements are and the new government is going to work overtime to make sure that all the deficiencies are great. Now, if you get in the equipment in a short span of time, you can be rest assured that there will be allegations of corruption which will come. It's a guarantee. But you have to see, do we make the shortfalls which are existing today in our armed forces, or do we make sure that there is no corruption, not acquire anything at all? So the choice has to be made between the two. I'm sure that they will try to minimize the middleman as far as possible, but you can't get rid of it. I hope at least the deficiency in the armed forces are getting rid.
Good evening, sir. I have great respect for the armed forces. My question is, every legislation has a particular provision. It says that the documents or assets created within that legislation have to be maintained only for a certain period of time, beyond which the legislation itself provides that you need not maintain. It doesn't say you can destroy them, but you need not maintain. For example, any of these law documents is supposed to maintain them for a period of 8 years, and if you see the recent newspaper article on the Ministry of Home Ministry's documents, it said that they're supposed to maintain them for 25 years. So likewise, do you have a legislation when you commission an asset? Do you have a legislation that says that you are supposed to utilize it only for so many years and post that you jump it? This is directly in relation to the MiG-21 and also the recent submarine disasters mishaps which have happened. When once commissioned, don't you have any legislation which says that you can jump it off after a certain period? Why does the armed forces still use all the assets which have bygone their wear and tear period or whatever? Just a question.
No, it's an excellent question. I'm sure that it troubles all of us. The issues are like this, is that, just to give you an idea as to what the current costs are. We talked about the Vikramaditya which just came into the Navy. The accreditation cost $2.5 billion. $2.5 billion just to get that refit done on the ship. Now $2.5 billion, I know you all better as far as I'm trying to be concerned. To me, it goes out to about 15,000 crores for just that ship to come in. Forget about maintaining that particular. Similarly, if you talk about the fighter aircraft for today, if you want to get the Rafale into the country, it will cost you anything between 400 to 450 crores per piece, per aircraft. And we require 126 of them. So what I'm trying to say is that the costs are very, very high. Initially when I started flying in 1971, the MiG-21 used to cost 2 crores. Okay, now compare that to the cost as it exists today, 150 crores. So what happens is that when you are in the process of acquiring certain arms, you look to the indigenous, that is the capacity within the country to be able to produce your requirements. And I'm sorry to say that even after 67 years of independence, our local industry has not been able to give us what the armed forces require. If we had a choice, we would go first to the indigenous various institutions which are there to say that look, you produce for us, because then we are not caught up with this. I go to you and you say no, I will not give it to you, check out the price, etc. etc. Now the policy we followed over the years has been such that we keep protecting our public sector undertaking. All our undertakings like HAL or the water factory, they are not working efficiently, not as efficiently as we want them to. So unless you open the industry to the private industry, get in this thing to compete, then only you will find that you will be able to overcome this problem to a certain extent. Now what you're talking about is that we would like these aircraft to be replaced. But like I said, the costs are so prohibitively high that you can't get them. And then you talk about middlemen, you talk about corruption, that delays the process even further. So The point is that we have to now resort to what we call as life extension. Now this aircraft is being designed, like I said, for 3,000 hours of flight. Okay? Similarly, any other aircraft or tank or a ship has a certain life guarantee to it. But what happens if the replacement doesn't come in? Then you find that purpose you have to give it a life extension, which means that you carry out certain repairs on the aircraft, you refit it, you add certain weapon systems on board, and then you say, okay, I give it another 10 years of life. Or if it's an aircraft, another 1,000 hours of life. So that is how the MiG-21 continues to fly with us, in spite of the fact that we should have been retired some time ago, because of these life extensions which have been given to it. So if we don't get the life extension, then you find that that asset is lost to us, we don't have a replacement. And then we feel that like even today, the Indian Air Force is down to 34 squadrons. We're down to 34 squadrons, our total strength should be 43 squadrons. Now we don't have the entire number of squadrons we should have. That is why the statement which came out, the Army Chief or the Air Force Chief goes to tell the Prime Minister that look, we are not in a position to wait for today. It is because of critical deficiencies as far as ammunition is concerned, as far as weapon systems are concerned. It is not that we can't do the war. It is that we are not able to sustain. Suppose the war lasts 15 days. Suppose there is a two-front war. Suppose you go to war with Pakistan and China also comes in. Now we have to give a certain amount of assets here in the western sector. We have to give a certain amount of assets to the eastern sector. So we have the numbers to be able to give to both. We have the ammunition which will last out the war. These are issues which are very difficult to answer the whole time. Rightly, the deficiency is brought out to say that we are not capable as of now to be able to undertake a two-front war. I hope I have answered the question. I don't know what it is.
It's nice to hear your perspective from the Air Force as well, mostly from the Army. I have a couple of related questions. One is with respect to the Chief of Defense Staff, and the other is with respect to India's management. How does adding a Chief of Defense Staff, in terms of replacing, as you said, with duties of some duties of defense secretary, add to the defense policies or the quickness of action, so to say? In terms of, would it not be adding another bureaucratic layer to the actual existing bureaucratic layer? The other thing is related to indigenization. Why don't we proceed with indigenization the same way we proceeded with the missile development, where we went for a small capability between, then we went for RT-1, then we went for RT-3, 5, whatever it is. Why don't we proceed the same way with our, say, Arjun tank or LCA or whatever those are? And would having a Chief of Defense Staff help in this? Would it not help in this? How would they work? These questions come from my recent reading about the JSF and how it has been a really bad case of investment. Sorry.
I got your question. Any questions? Yeah, your question regarding the CDS. Now, the Defense Secretary is a bureaucrat. So, he starts off by being district magistrate somewhere, then he goes up the chain, he goes to Water Resources Ministry, next he goes to Agriculture Ministry, and then finally he becomes Secretary of Minister of Defense. Now, you can imagine the person who's worked in different ministries, all of a sudden he goes to the Defense Ministry, can't become an expert overnight. So what in effect happens is that even if the Defense Secretary gets a 2-year tenure, which normally doesn't, even if he has a 2-year tenure, this whole 2 years is spent in learning how the armed forces work. He is not in a position to contribute anything worthwhile. So actually he becomes a summit talk. Because he doesn't understand what the problem is. If you say, I'll give you an example. Like tomorrow, if the country were to go to war, the Chief of Defense Staff would interact directly with the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister to say, we open up that front? Do we use our surface missiles? Do we use the nuclear power we have? Do we use our submarines in a particular way? This can't come from the defense secretary because he doesn't have the professional expertise to be able to advise the Prime Minister or the President. So what we are trying to say is, the Chief of Defense Staff, any professional advice which is to be given, he gives that professional advice. The bureaucrat, on the other hand, will deal with all other matters regarding, say, R&D, interministerial issues. Suppose you have to, once the services select a particular equipment, the price negotiation, the acquisition, all that defense secretary. The services don't want to have anything to do with it because the corruption tie will come to the services there. We said, you handle the entire price negotiation, whatever you want to, etc., you do it. But the professional part of it, that will leave it to us. Don't make the defense secretary advise the Prime Minister as to what we should do regarding, how many regiments we should base, whether we should have a, submarine launch rescue missile, or whether we should have a strike corps in the northeast to be able to tackle the Chinese. Now, these are issues we are saying that don't let the defense secretary come to me and give his because he doesn't understand. That's what defense. That is as far as the defense of the Chief of Defense Staff is concerned. Now, the second issue we have raised regarding the indiscrimination as far as the government, etc. is concerned. Now, we are doing today what we should have done 20 years back, which is giving a private industry more of a role as far as the acquisition into the defense forces are concerned. Because the Indian industry today is capable of anything. We are at the stage where we have the expertise, we have the know-how, we have the money, we have everything. We have such a reputed company in the country today. Why can't we give them the responsibility? But we want to protect our PSUs. Because if you open up to the private industry, all the PSUs are going to shut down. Now you created a giant thing. It's like Indian Airlines today. Indian Airlines is the most inefficient company you can ever think of. And yet we pumped in thousands of crores into that particular sinking ship because we have to keep it afloat. Nothing can be more ridiculous than that. It is the same story with our defense PSUs as well. After so many years, you have to prove that you are capable of giving the armed forces what they require. You are not producing it. Whatever may be the reasons are plenty. They ask the PSU, they will come out with all the reasons why they are not able to produce. But any excuses is not proper. You have to produce. Because the armed forces required or is required 10 years back. The SCA is talking about. SCA should come into the service 10 years back. Even today, the initial operational clearance is not been done, which means that it can fly the aircraft, but it can't fight. It can't bomb. It can't do anything. So if I do that, how Boeing 737 instead of an SCA, it does the same job. Flying is not good enough. It has to be a fighting aircraft, which means that it has to have the electronic warfare suites on board. It has to have the missile capability. It needs to have armament. It needs to have everything and from this thing which there is space, which the services require. It's a whole host of issues. So